Calgary Flames beat the Chicago Blackhawks by a 3-1 score at the United Center tonight. And this is Afterburner with Mike and Pike. It's going to be a good one. That's to the tune of Paul McCartney's avant-garde hit, Temporary Secretary. And Pike, the Flames' current roster orientation may be temporary. And with the impending relocation of locale, Rasmus Andersson may need a new secretary. But after tonight's 3-1 win over the Chicago Blackhawks, maybe we should just look at things in a micro sense. What a fun game. What a fun environment in the United Center tonight. Just kidding. It was a really boring game. The Calgary Flames managed to win. Mike Gould here with you alongside Ryan Pike on the Afterburner.
I liked Michael Backlund.
That was the best part. By far the best part.
If you tuned in for only the first 6.5 minutes of this game, you caught a bunch of action, and then you probably didn't need to watch the rest of it because it was as flamesy a game as the Flames needed to play to get 2 points.
Temporary Secretary. Really, go look it up after the show. It's the best song in the world. I can't even think about the hockey game right now because it's just rattling around through my head. But I do have enough brain power to let you know that Afterburner is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION. That's spelled NATION for all you listeners out there. So head on over to Bet365. And after you get back, leave us a super chat. Proceeds from which go to the Youth Centers of Calgary, a place where kids are welcomed and accepted as they are, a place where they can get a break from the chronic stress that is a reality for many of their lives, and where they can flourish through connections and fun. That is the Youth Centers of Calgary, and that's who you're benefiting with any of your super chats, and I'm sure we will get some good ones tonight. Again, after the Calgary Flames defeat the Chicago Blackhawks, Pike, by a 3-1 final score. Now, I don't know if it's stipulated anywhere in our we're not really on contracts or anything. I don't know if it's stipulated anywhere in any of our agreements that this show has to extend beyond a certain duration and length. Because I'll be honest with you, Pike, it was a 3-1 game. 3 of those goals were scored on the first 5 shots of the game between these two teams. The other goal was scored into an empty net. And between all that, not a lot.
Yeah, there was a power play goal, a shorthanded goal, and an empty net goal for the Flames. So for a group that has struggled to score 5-on-5, and head coach Ryan Huska, he made some lineup shuffles in the pregame press conference, press availability that was posted by Flames TV. He remarked on he changed up the lines because the guys need to generate more. They didn't generate a lot at 5-on-5. Neither team did, but I think the Flames did a pretty capable job on their special teams. And against a team that had outscored them 9-2 in their previous 2 matchups, they did what they needed to do to basically make it a flamesy game. And, it had a lot of the hallmarks of that. What was the score in Pittsburgh? 2-1?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It felt very similar. I think from here on out, the games where the Flames have success will probably look a lot like this. They do not have a lot of offensive firepower. They are a team that, based on last season, kind of knows what it needs to look like to go well. And, the stretches of hockey they have played well this year have kind of looked like this, sometimes with a little bit more scoring, but they can't run and gun. They probably shouldn't be playing any, track meets with anyone because they just don't have the legs for it. But if they can turn into a mucker, if they can, have the kind of game where Joel Farabee is, waiting calmly for a guy to get his win back so they can fight. This is the type of game like they know what they're all about. They know what they got to be. And it was the kind of game where you look at the balance of it and you go, oh, 23-20, there's 46 combined shots. Chicago in the third period, trailing by a goal at home. 5, they got outshot 6-5. That's a Flames game. That's what the Flames wanted. They just wear you down. Like Chicago, shots were 18-18 or 18-17, and then for a team that put up 18 shots the first 2, they got 5 in the third period.
Yeah.
Good golly.
The shots in the third were 6-5 Calgary, and one of those shots went into an empty net off the stick of Matty Coronado.
That's his team team lead tying 13th of the year.
That's right. Pike, the Flames still do not have Blake Coleman, with whom Matt Coronado is now tied for the team leading goals.
They were this evening. They were without the services of 2023 first rounder Sam Honzik, defenseman Jake Bean, fourth line center Johnny Beecher, two-time Cup champion Blake Coleman. Zane Parekh is also he day to day, but he's on the active roster. And the healthy spectators tonight were Braden Pahal and William Stromgren. I believe William Stromgren in 3 NHL games has an expected goals percentage of like 26%.
Hasn't been good.
So while there is very many people in my social media comments, in my replies after I posted the lineup, stick taps to our buddy Derek Wills for tweeting outlines. He's on the road and I'm not. Thank you, Derek. But folks are like, "Oh, I can't believe Stromgren wasn't in." And yeah, I get it. He's young, and Dryden Hunt is not young. Dryden Hunt's 30. 30 is not young relative to the NHL. 30 is young in the regular world. But you might, Stromgren just for the role Stromgren's been in, he has struggled. Maybe they should try him in another role. But they took him out and they won. So I don't know what that tells you.
Well, to the point, Blake Coleman out again tonight. Another night without anything on the score sheet for Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau. And yet the Flames find a way to get a couple of goals. And it is, again, this sort of motley crew of power play 2 occupants. Michael Backlund, Yegor Sharangovich, Connor Zary, and even Matt Coronado, who is technically on PP1, but plays now with Backlund and Sharangovich at even strength, who get the job done for the Calgary Flames tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Coronado led the Flames with 4 shots on goal.
Which is good. That's a big change because recently Matty Coronado has not been taking shots on goal.
Michael Backlund, before we get into the rundown, we can tell you Michael Backlund led the team with he had 3 shots, which is second behind only Coronado. He won 10 out of 19 faceoffs, led the team. He was the only person who took more than 1 faceoff that was north of 50%. The next best faceoff guy was Kadri at 47%. That was the kind of night it was for Kadri, who had 1 shot on goal. Backlund, 2 goal assist, +2, 53% in the faceoff circle, 3 shots on goal.
Played over 20 minutes, 20:07 for Michael Backlund tonight, the same year he was drafted.
The only people on the Flames that played more in this game than Backlund were Anderson, Ball, and Kuznetsov.
Yeah.
He played slightly more than Uyghur, slightly more than Kadri. And this is your 36-year-old he's going to be 37 on St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's your third line center, second line center. I don't know how you measure this.
Right now,
he played the most. Does that make him the first line center?
Right now, he's their first line center. Right now, he's the best forward. I don't think it's I don't think it's a contest on either point. I believe
he is now 1 point behind Nazem Kadri for the team lead in scoring.
Yeah, and Nazem Kadri is ice cold. I don't think Nazem Kadri is their number 1 center right now. He might be in the aggregate.
What's Backlund at? $4.5 million this year?
Yeah, something like that. And it goes down to 3 next year.
Yeah, so he's making $2.5 million less than $3.5 million. I'm bad at math right now. Yeah, so Backlund, he's up to +15. That leads the team. He is 12 goals, so he's 1 off the team lead. He has 19 assists, second on the team, tied with Anderson. 31 points, tie or just ahead of Anderson and behind Kadri by a point for the team lead. So, I mean, and he's taking a pay cut. He
has 1 point back of his entire total from last season. And I posted something on social media recently saying, I don't know if the Flames are going to have a 20-goal scorer this year, and I still don't know if they're going to have a 20-goal scorer this year.
At this rate, it'll be Backlund.
But I think if it's anybody, it'll be Michael Backlund. With the way that he's playing, he has been remarkable. If the Flames, they're never going to trade him because it's just not in either side's interest. But if they did put him on the market, he would be an extremely coveted player, and for very good reason. And I think personally, it is ridiculous that he's not on Team Sweden at the Olympics. I've thought this since they announced the roster, and I think he will find his way on there somehow in the end. But it is just, to me, patently absurd.
I mean, the last time he was on team, he captained Team Sweden.
And he won the Worlds.
Yeah, the royal family got to meet him.
Exactly.
It's a big day for the royal family.
Yeah. So I think, and by the way, Pike, here's a little trivia question for you. you want to know? I don't know if they're the last team to go an entire full season without a 20-goal score, but the last one that comes to my mind is the 2018-19 Arizona Coyotes.
I'm sure the 2018-19 Coyotes were in the front of mind.
Well,
as they often
are. Clayton Keller had 14 goals that season, and he played in 82 games. And you know who their 2 leading goal scorers were that year? I watched a lot of this team because I was in first year university. I was living out east, and so I'd watch the Flames. And then after they were done, I'd be up doing assignments, and I'd watch the Yotes because the only other option was to watch the Kings.
Okay, I get it. And a dear friend of mine, the best man at my wedding, actually became a Columbus Blue Jackets fan early in their existence because he's like, I just want to cheer for a team no one's cheering for.
Exactly.
There's an appeal to that.
The 2 leading goal scorers who both scored 19 goals on that Yotes team were Alex Galchenyuk and Brad Richardson. That's former Flame Brad Richardson.
Forever a Flame, Brad.
Forever a Flame.
Okay, while we're going down a rabbit hole, there are 3 NHL teams right now that have scored fewer 5-on-5 goals than the Calgary Flames. Can you name them?
Seattle's one.
That's correct.
Winnipeg?
No.
They're
all in the Pacific Division.
They're all in the Pacific?
They're all in the Pacific.
Kings.
Yes.
Yeah, and not Sharks. No. Oilers.
No.
Canucks.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
and the Flames are tied with the New Jersey Devils. The Flames and the Devils have 78. Vancouver 77, Seattle 76, LA 76.
Did you know that the Edmonton Oilers lost 1-0 to the New York Islanders tonight in regulation?
Ilya Sorokin
stopped all 35. Connor Ingram only had to stop 17. Wow. Anyway,
okay, we need to get
to
the
game. We need to get to the game.
The absolute litany.
Yeah. We are already getting slandered by one of our favorite sons, Hot Poop 63. Who in the chat is saying, where's the In the Dome boys? They would be spewing F-bombs by now. You're right. I think they're doing...
I think it's a mischaracterization of the type of deep insight that Jordan and the other guy do.
It's also Mike.
The other guy's
also Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not sure who someone's name is on the network, just guess Mike.
Just guess Mike. You're usually
Mike
right.
or Ryan is usually our default. Yeah. So
they're doing the game. They're doing the show on the 25th. So they'll that's when, if you want your In the Dome fix, that's when you'll see them next. This game started off with a goal by the Blackhawks, and spoiler alert, both number 17s scored in this game.
Shot that Devin Cooley has faced. Devin Cooley, who has not had a good week, not had a good fortnight.
He's battling tuberculosis. He's got something.
He had the flu, then he had some sort of a bronchitis, and then some sort of a lung infection.
Gosh,
or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he's been sick. Was not named one of the 3 stars this game, which to me is, I mean, I guess he didn't have a ton to do. He stopped 22 of 23. He was good, but you know, they were playing Chicago. I didn't think Chicago had a ton of good looks.
This is a weirdly quiet game for Chicago because I mentioned off the top that the previous 2 games against the Flames, Chicago had outscored them 9-2.
Yeah.
And Wunderkind, young Connor Bedard, who's not on the Olympic team for some reason.
That's another weird one. Yeah.
He had, so of the 9 goals that Chicago had scored against the Flames, he had scored personally 4 of them and set up the other 3. So there were 2 goals that Connor Bedard didn't have a hand in.
And now it's 3.
Yeah. He for whatever reason he looked like he missed last game. I believe he was out with they say illness. That's code for probably the flu. There's a flu bug going around a lot of locker rooms right now, and Devin Cooley can tell you it sucks. And even when you are quote unquote better from it, you ain't yourself for a little while. And so Connor Bedard did not look like full Connor Bedard in this game, and the Flames were all better for it because the Flames have seen Connor Bedard at full Connor Bedard, and no thank you.
Yeah, I thought Bedard had some really good looks tonight. I thought he took some really good shots. He's got an incredible release. But yeah, -2 and a little over 22 minutes of ice time.
Yeah, and Connor Bedard heading into this game in 6 career games versus the Flames, he had 6 goals and 6 assists, 12 points in 6 games.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, he was merely fine in this game. He had a few looks, but they got Backlund out against him quite a lot, and kept him under wraps. But coincidentally, that transitions to a discussion of
the other number 17.
Some Flames goals.
That's right.
And number 17.
That's right. It took only 36 seconds after the Nick Foligno goal for the Flames to score a power play goal season from Backlund and Zary, coming at the pi mark of the first period, 3:14 off the clock.
And 367th assist as a member of the Flames. It breaks a tie between him and Mark Giordano for 6th all time on the Flames leaderboard. The gentleman ahead of him, and I wrote it down, but I'm going to see if I can open my notes very quickly. The guys in front of Backlund, the 6 guys with more assists are, I believe, Al McInnes, Jerome McGinley, Theo Fleury, Gary Suter, and Johnny Gaudreau. So that's pretty good company to be keeping. And, Backlund, I believe he's creeping up. I believe he's after this game, I want to say 17 points behind Gaudreau for 5th all time.
Wow.
So and with the way he's scoring, I think he's catching him this year.
He probably will. And he's been incredible. We're going to talk about Michael Backlund a little bit more in a minute because he scored an incredible goal later on in this one. I mean, he's been their best player for a large chunk of this season. And really good stuff by Connor Zary there, taking the puck to the front of the net and just sort of calling his own number. That's the sort of the strong-headedness that we've seen from Connor Zary at other levels, where he just sort of is content and keen to try to make things happen in tight quarters. And it really worked out very, very well. And Igor is the beneficiary of that one, and he's been a very good point producer for the Flames over the last sort of 6 weeks. So that's fun for Igor Sharangovich to get his 9th goal of the season. This is crazy to me that we are at the point in the season now where Igor has more goals than Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau.
And you're probably well aware of this. Connor Zary since December 1st, and this hasn't actually, I'll just update this manually. Connor Zary since December 1st in 20 games has 14 points.
Yeah.
The only person wearing a red and white sweater who has more points in that span is Michael Backlund. Yep. So, I mean, Connor, we've talked so much, and rightfully so, over the last couple of years about, holy crap, Matt Coronado has really gone. Matt Coronado knows what he is at the NHL level. Matt Coronado is like, he knows what he needs to do to be effective, and he's done it consistently enough to get a pretty good payday out of it. And, obviously some elements of the team's game ebb and flow. Coronado, if he can get space to get that shot off, he's very good. And I think he had some good looks in this game at 5-on-5 before his empty netter.
Very much.
But Connor Zary's the guy, just because I think he's been sort of bounced around a bit. He's been at center. He's been in all four forward lines. He's been on the wing. He's been a healthy scratch. He's been all over the place.
Yeah.
And Zary, the Connor Zary we've seen in the American League, in the Western League, at the NHL in flashes, if he can be this, if he can maintain the December / early this 6 weeks of play and extrapolate over a full year, he's the kind of guy you really consider giving, back Coronado money to, because he can help you in so many ways, whether he's making nice passes, just saying, screw it, I'm going to the net. And on this play, and we saw a few plays the last little while, he just says, screw it, I'm going to the front of the net. And even if he doesn't score, just the instinct of, I'm just going there, creates so much havoc that he creates chances for his teammates. And, rather than sort of just throwing a shot into the crest or throwing something that goes wide, he just decides to do something that will only create chaos. And when Connor Zary is embracing chaos like this, I think it's the best version of him.
I don't think it's a question. I think Zary has put himself back on the map as far as a player who can be part of this team going forward. I think when you look at the Flames and the way that they are structured, both roster-wise and contract-wise over the next few years, obviously they need to make room for Sam Honzek. Obviously they need to make room for Matt Vegridden as the two, I think, most NHL-ready winger prospects in their system who you expect to play significant roles on the team in the coming years. Worth noting, Gridden named an AHL All-Star today. And the mechanics of making room for these guys, that the Flames have to make some moves. And I think at the start of the year, it would have been very easy to say, well, you know what? Quite frankly, to make room for a Sam Honzek, Zary might have to go. Like that, I don't know if it's going to work. I think he might be running out of time. And what we've seen with Zary over the last little bit is put himself back on the map to the point where I think they might, they're gonna expend a little bit more energy, I think, to keep that guy. And I mean, it's funny. This is a team that has an expansive, gelatinous middle class that just lumps even closer with every passing game. I mean,
that's the next T-shirt. Gelatinous middle class.
Like, here's the crazy thing. Okay, Morgan Frost is 5th on this team in scoring with 22 points. Zary and Igor are tied for, I think, 10th, and they're separated by 4 points. Pike. You extend it to Uyghur and they're separated by 6. Like, you got all these guys who are basically having the same seasons, and it is just super weird. Where, yeah, I just, it's hard to differentiate. I mean, I kind of liken it to going in a meat grinder. You just sort of put them all in there and you let the goals pop out, and it all just sort of gets dispersed evenly.
I mean, I'd also sort of point in this case of, you know, we talked about this in other places. We'll talk about it now too. Connor Zary. What, he's on a 2-year deal, 3-year deal?
3.
They have a few guys that are sort of all coming up. Let me just pull up Puckpedia.
Yeah, the one
but you have like a couple years for Frost. You have a couple years, you know, Backlund's a couple years left. Of this 4 group, like Farabee is done in 2028, Backlund done in 2028, Coleman, if he's still here, done in 2027, Zary 2028, Frost 2027, Klapker 2027. They have a lot of guys filling out the gelatinous middle class. Backlund and Coleman aren't really gelatinous. They might have the most defined roles in the team, but the case stands, like, guys that, you know, could be aging out to create room for other guys. But, you know, I think there's a lot of guys, like, I think specifically when Morgan Frost got signed, the question was, what the hell is Morgan Frost? And I say this with nothing but love for Morgan Frost. He's a good hockey player, but I don't really know.
I still don't know.
I don't know. Like, well, in terms of, like, if you're like, and I'll say this, it took, you know, we'll talk about the next goal momentarily. But, you know, think of this. Like,
took Michael back.
You might know, I wrote a book, and I spent an entire chapter discussing Michael Backlund, because Michael Backlund's a developmental success story. But it took him a while. Michael Backlund could not generate anything offensively for a while. Granted, he's playing in the 4th line and the 3rd line. He's playing with guys that you don't really generate much offense with. But it took him a while to sort of really find his thing. And it took Michael Backlund, what? He's born in 89. So it was 2015 or 2016. So when he was like 26, 27, before it clicked for him, before he's like, he comes back from that lockout. And then he's played the 13-14 lockout in the Allsvenskan scan, came back, played a year, looked pretty good, had an injury, came back from the injury, and just a switch flip for him. And the thing, he could always be good defensively, but figuring out ways to sort of use that defensive acumen to sort of flip and create offense and open things up for everybody else on the team. Like, there's a reason why he started getting Selke votes every year starting in 2016. Yeah, because he figured it out. And some guys figure it out quickly and some guys don't. But if you're looking at Morgan Frost, like, he's what, 25?
He's older, he's a little older than that. I think he's 26. Like, the thing with Morgan Frost that makes his situation a little bit more precarious to me is that he's an unrestricted free agent after next season,
and that the Flames have a slew of centers that they have drafted and are very high on, and apparently Andrew Bash can play center. Exactly. So there are options coming up who might I would say, you know, we'll discuss this in other formats too. Just the idea of, you know, right now the Flames' best center is Michael Backlund
with a bullet.
Their second best center is Nazem Kadri, and there's a gap.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who the 3rd or 4th best centers are. But the big question is, like, you know, we saw Cole Rezhny be, outside of the first game, freaking excellent with the World Juniors. Yeah. You know, we saw a little bit of Connor Zary in his game when he drove the net. Yeah. He fell in the goalie once. That was bad luck. Yeah. You can't really fault the effort. They have Theo Stuxilius impressing in Sweden, finally back from getting a skate cut in the inside of his leg. Don't get cut by skates.
They got centers.
They got Cullen Potter. Yeah. They got guys coming. And so if you're Morgan Frost, Backlund is a really well-defined role, and Backlund's here until he decides not to play professional hockey anymore. Kadri, we could have, that's a bigger discussion, but Kadri, at the very least, he's an offensive specialist and he has his thing. Better or worse, both those guys have their lanes. What's Morgan Frost's thing that's going to keep him as a high-end NHLer?
It's hard to say. Kim in the chat is not very happy that I purportedly said I want to trade Connor Zary. I want no such thing, Kim. I just think that at the start of the year when Zary was really sort of struggling, I think, to find a footing in the lineup, there was maybe something to the idea of if the Flames are going to free up space, they have certain guys who they are kind of married to in a certain sense as far as having immovable contracts. And then they have guys who are maybe a little bit more flexible as far as their situations go.
Yeah.
I think Zary over the last 6-8 weeks has done a really good job of reminding folks of how good he was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And
this might be the best we've seen in the NHL.
Overcoming the very real concerns, I think, that were spawned by his 2 big injuries last season. Because I think it was a very fair take to sort of say, Zary's come off of a couple of big knee things that looked real scary.
And thankfully didn't need surgery.
But
both of the times I'm like, he's done.
They looked awful. And so I think it's a very real caution to be like, just sort of take it slow with this guy. And now I think we're at a point where Zary, to me at least, looks like think about this, Pike. There was a point earlier on in this season where Ryan Huska was generally scratching one of Zary, Sharangovich, or Coronado every game. And that's like the way that the Flames...
And that was usually, early on in the season, they have not had Martin Pospisil at all this year. And for big chunks of the season, they began without a Huberto. They had no Honzek. They've tended to miss, one guy at a time plus Pospisil for much of the season.
So they're already a little tight on guys. But yeah, they have gotten their roster to a point where all 3 of those guys are contributing, I think, in a very tangible way. And it's no coincidence that Huska only scratched Sharangovich once. No, he scratched him more than that.
4 times.
I think it was more.
I have a list.
I think it was only. I think Coronado was only once. And Zary was a couple times. I think like 2 or 3 times.
Coronado was once. Sharangovich is 4. Zary was twice.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, and I think it's no coincidence that all 3 of those guys have played their best hockey this season, went alongside the guy who scored the Flames' second goal tonight, which ended up being the winner for the Calgary Flames in this game.
Are you saying that they're getting the Backlund bump?
I am saying they're getting the Backlund bump, and I think Michael Backlund has been outstanding.
How far away the guys behind him were, but he just makes the play, waits for the goalie to commit, and then just whoops around him and tucks it in. And that's a hell of a goal. It's up until this point, only 2 Flames have scored shorthanded goals this year. Blake Coleman and the pugilist Joel Farabee,
right?
Tied. I believe they're both tied for the league lead in shorthanded goals this year. Definitely tied for the team lead in shorthanded goals. And I believe that gives the Flames, I believe, a share of the league, a league lead in shorthanded goals this season as well. Since November 5th, if you go by pure shorthand or penalty killing percentage, the Flames are, I think, top 4 or 5. If you factor in what the NHL calls net shorthanded or net penalty killing, which factors in shorthanded goals. And basically, I think the way it works is it negates power play goals you allow. It's basically goal differential across penalty kills. And so they're like second. So something clicked for them in November. Maybe it's just as simple as they figured out what the hell Trent Cull was trying to teach them. And then they brought up Yan Kuznetsov, whose bread and butter is the penalty kill. But they've been very good. They've been very aggressive on the penalty kill in ways that haven't let them open to counterattacks. And as a result, the game-winning goal was scored on a shorthanded breakaway by your 36-year-old third-line center.
Flames did not score a single 5-on-5 goal tonight. They scored 1 at 5-on-4. They scored 1 at 4-on-5, and they scored 1 at 6-on-5.
I don't think they scored a 5-on-5 goal against Columbus either.
No, they didn't. They were all power play goals. So yeah, they have not scored a 5-on-5 goal in a hot second. But that Backlund line tonight was excellent at 5-on-5 regardless, controlling 83% of the expected goals, attempting their opponents 10-6. And according to Money, those stats were from Natural Stat Trick, and via Money Puck, they combined. So the Flames combined for 3.21 expected goals in all situations, and the 3 players on that line combined for more than half of them. So there you go. Sharangovich himself had more than 1 expected goal all by himself. But then Coronado and Backlund were also very much up there. So very good stuff from that line tonight. And then Joel Farabee. This was just, kind of funny.
This might be the best thing I've seen all week. And I saw that scrum with Devin Cooley describing how sick he was.
It was, yeah, no kidding. Jack, do we have the footage of the fight with Joel Farabee and Connor Murphy? So here's the actual fight. This is once they drop the gloves. Before this, so we can play the fight.
I mean, if you tell me that the idea is, you want Joel Farabee to eventually become your Blake Coleman replacement. Okay, yeah, I can wrap my head around that. Put Hanzik in the other wing with Backlund. Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah,
that works.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with the rest of the team, but I mean, their big problem has always been Backlund's line has been working, and whoever you have playing with Backlund, that seems to work, and then the other three lines.
Yeah, I would find my way out of Huberdeau somehow. I don't know how exactly they plan to do that. And then I think, you maybe find somebody for Frost, you find somebody for Kadri, and then you sort of let the other chips fall as they may. Like, you have a couple more years on the Zary deal, and then you make a decision. And once the Zary deal is up, well, I think Igor's got one more year after that. And then you can probably flip him, and there's other things that they can do. But yeah, I think they're in good position to make a deal if and when that does happen. We are now officially, with it being 10 o'clock, we are officially at 350 days since the Calgary Flames last announced a deal,
a player for player deal,
a major deal of anything.
Are you telling me that trading into the 7th round to get Russian sensation Jan Matvienko
does not count
of Krasny Armia?
It is
unacceptable.
They announced the Frost.
This is Matt Vaco erasure, and I'm not going to stand for
They announced the Frost deal at 10 p.m. Calgary time, and here we are. It's 10:03. It has been 350 days since the Calgary Flames.
Since I wrote a piece denigrating the Flames road game, particularly their power play. They've scored 4 power play goals and gone from 32nd in the league to 28th, 27th. Their power play is up to 27th on the road, which the Toronto Maple Leafs power play is 9.6% on the road.
Mr. Watts says, "Beecher off waivers. You forgot." I didn't forget. 350 days since the Calgary Flames last made a significant roster move. Yeah, we're gonna get to the super chats in a sec here.
What are we counting as significant here?
I am counting.
I gotta see which ones I don't.
I'm not counting any RFA re-signings because I think those qualify as business as usual.
I mean, yeah, keeping your guys, but you're telling me that scroll.
I know the Dustin Wolf contract's in there, but again, I think that's business as usual. Signing Nick Cicek, is that what we're going to go to?
He was the July 1st signing.
He was the July 1st signing.
He's been good on a Wranglers.
I get it.
Blue line.
It's still an American League defense.
Hey, they brought up Owen Say on the 5th, 10 days ago.
Owen Say, can you see? He's the
Owen Say backed up in 2 leagues in the same bench in consecutive nights, which might be a record.
Maybe. Yeah. So that's the Farabee fight, and then the Flames tallied an empty netter, their first one in a second here. Matty Coronado getting his 13th goal of the season. That's right. And Igor Sharangovich with the lone assist on that one. Back-to-back multi-point games for Igor. And the Flames win this one 3-1. They may be the NHL's worst road team. They still are, even after this win, but they get 2 points away from the Dome. And there you go.
They were the better team. Like I said, to win games, they have a very small margin for error, and they can't rely on outscoring the other team. So they got to try to do what they can to make skill optional in their game. And the Chicago Blackhawks have a bunch of really skilled young players. At times this season, they have run roughshod over the Flames by just saying, okay, we're going to score on you now. And the Flames answer was, we'd prefer it if you didn't. In this game, the Flames did not make it a conversation. They just said, okay, we're gonna get a lead on you. And then we're just basically going to turn the game into a bit of a slog, but the Flames prefer it that way. And they got their 20th win of the season. They are 23-4, depending on if you believe in real 500 or the NHL's fake 500. They're 3 games below fake 500 and 7 games below actual 500. And based on the way the standings work, scroll, they are 7 points back of the Sharks for the last playoff spot.
Canucks. Or 7 points back of the Sharks. Yes.
7 points back of the Sharks. But if you factor in points percentage,
I'll say something in the interim while you're calculating that. They are also now 7 points up on Vancouver for last in the league.
Yeah, that is also the case.
But
Vancouver's so bad.
I don't think it's even possible to outdo what Vancouver is doing right now. They've lost 6 in a row in regulation. They are awful. Brock Besser hasn't scored in weeks. I mean, holy moly.
But they have all the Pattersons. They have DPD.
I guess Brock Besser scored
EP40,
today.
Marcus. I don't know if they have other ones, but they lead the league in Pattersons, but they're last place overall.
Pike, can I tell you something?
Is it about the Pattersons?
Brock Besser scored today against Columbus.
Oh, good for him.
Okay. That was his first goal since November 28th, and he has not missed any games since then. That was Brock Besser's first goal since November 28th. That is wild.
It's not good.
That's not good.
It's not good. How did Bo Horvat do for the Islanders? Is he still playing?
Yeah, I don't think he scored. I think Anthony Duclair had the Islanders' only goal
nice.
In their 1-0 win over the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
That's
Lots
good.
of interesting stuff on the out of town. The Winnipeg Jets are back. They won by a big margin over the Minnesota Wild today, 6-2. The Jets defeating the Wild on the road in Minnesota. Jonathan Taves had his 900th NHL point in that game. So the Jets are winning. The Buffalo Sabres are winning. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, we want to talk about the road ahead for the Calgary Flames. Brought to you by Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail, Northeast. They are good folks, and they are clearing out 2025 Outlander plug-in hybrids, Outlander PHEVs, Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid for 3 years in a row, and it's bolstered by a 10-year, 160,000-kilometer powertrain warranty that covers the engine, the motors, and that big old battery. So head on up to 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast and go check out that Outlander PHEV at Platinum Mitsubishi. And Pike, the road ahead does not concern the road because the Calgary Flames are coming back home. And I want to correct something that I've been saying on recent shows. The Flames aren't home tonight. They're coming home tomorrow. Tomorrow's their travel day, coming home to Calgary. And then they kick off a long homestand, a 5-game homestand with a weird one on Saturday, a 1 p.m. Mountain start, Hockey Day in Canada against the New York Islanders.
Their expansion cousins.
Islanders?
Their expansion
Islanders.
cousins.
New York Islanders on Saturday at 1 p.m. Matthew Schaefer's first visit to Calgary in the NHL. And they follow that up with some tough tests against Metropolitan Division teams. The New Jersey Devils on the 19th, the Penguins on the 21st, and the Washington Capitals on the 23rd before wrapping up that homestand against the Anaheim Ducks on Jan 25. Pike, your prediction right now is Rasmus Andersson still a Calgary Flame by the end of this homestand.
Hold on, let me just check the website.
Check the website.
I got to open it.
What, the Rasmus Andersson website?
He is currently a Flame. Right now, he's a Flame. By the end of the homestand?
End of the homestand.
When do you count the end of the homestand? That when before they when they
by
leave
the
when
final,
they leave for Minnesota?
By the final buzzer of their last game on the homestand. Anaheim 25th.
No.
Wow.
No.
There you go. Hey, I'm going to my first game of the season as a fan, as a spectator on the 19th against New Jersey. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been doing all these shows. I haven't had any time to go to the Dome. I went to 4 preseason games. And I haven't been to 1 regular season game. So things are looking up for old Mikey here. Really looking forward to that. Pike, you going to any games?
Yeah, I'm going to all of them. I'm going speaking of a bonus addition to the road ahead. The Wranglers play Friday night and Sunday. And Martin Pospisil is expected to play in at least one, potentially both of those games. And at this rate, perhaps Zane Parekh joins him on a conditioning stint. We will see what happens on Friday and what is announced or what is not announced. It is now, I believe, something he is eligible for, he being Zane Parekh. So if you have yet to come to a Wranglers game, there are new reasons to potentially go. And if one of the reasons you don't go to the Saddledome is occasionally ticket prices can get a little bit hefty, Wranglers ticket prices are significantly less so, and I would argue the product is usually about as good.
Good old Wranglers.
Sometimes you get to see Maffei Gridden do all-star stuff. I mean, it's a good product. So that's my cheap plug for our dear friends, the Wranglers. They play Bakersfield on Friday night at 7. Tickets still available. Sunday afternoon, the Saturday game for the Flames is at 1 o'clock. The Sunday game for the Wranglers also at 1 o'clock. Easy. You can go to both of them.
There you go.
Take the kids, show them the present and the future of the Flames on the same weekend. And then Mike's going to the Monday game against Jacob Markstrom and the New Jersey Devils.
Oh boy, that's a lopsided looking trade, isn't it?
I mean, they got the New Jersey really
Jersey
really wanted Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah, it was lopsided.
It became apparent that
pretty lopsided.
The Flames had a goaltender in the American League who could use a bigger challenge, who was one of the most leaned upon goaltenders in the National Hockey League.
Better than Markstrom.
Yeah, and they got Cole Reshny, they got Kevin Ball. You don't have to have a winner and loser of the trade. In this case, both teams might consider themselves winners.
No, they don't.
I know the local team definitely feels very happy about their outcomes. They got 3 games after that in the homestand.
Jacob Markstrom has been awful this season. I don't think the Devils think they're winners of that deal right now. But anyway, hey, Pike, you mentioned the American League.
Yeah.
You mentioned the AHL. You're right. The Flames, farm team, the Wranglers, play in Bakersfield tomorrow. And that takes us into our Bet365 bet of the day, courtesy of the good folks over at Bet365.
You found something?
Afterburner is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use that code NATION. And wouldn't you know it, Pike?
It's very exuberant read. I love it.
Here are the lines for tomorrow's game. Bakersfield against the Calgary Wranglers. And I think the folks at Bet365 threw their hands up in the air and said, I don't know. These two teams,
money line is a
even.
coin toss.
It's even. -115. The Wranglers this year, they are 6th in the Pacific at 15, 14, 7-2. The Condors are 3rd in the Pacific at 19, 10, and 6. And as you mentioned, Pike, entirely possible Zane Parekh might be sent down to the Calgary Wranglers for the first time on a conditioning stint. Very likely we will see Marty Pospisil playing for the Wranglers at some point here very, very soon. Marty Pospisil, for those of you who don't know, when he's playing for the Wranglers, he wears number 24. That'll be fun. And Pike, you're going to be at the game. What's your pick?
I mean, I just hope both teams have fun.
You just hope both teams have fun.
Do you ever see the video of when Bakersfield, when they were in the ECHL,
and they
let the condor
loose on the ice? Yes, I do.
That's the most ECHL thing.
They are big birds. Well, I will say this: Bakersfield
condors are jerks.
They're huge. Bakersfield has won 8 of their last 10. They are on a 7-game point streak. The Calgary Wranglers are on a 4-game losing streak. They are 2-4-3-1 in their last 10 games, are the Calgary Wranglers. They've been kind of hurting a little bit lately. But yeah, hey, should be a fun one. Marty Pospisil, he's no joke, especially at that level. He'll be fantastic for the Wranglers when he gets back. And why don't you head on over there? Give him some AHL bets over at Bet365. Once again, it is never, ever ordinary at Bet365. Jason Brown has a comment.
Jason Brown?
Wake the F up, Mike. You sound stupid when you talk out of your ass. Just to be politically correct, can we end this chat? Be real for once. What the F are we talking about? Stop it, Mike. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Baseball news. Before we went live, hear about this? Kyle Tucker, LA Dodgers. 5 years. Was it 5 or 4? It was 4 or 5 years. $60 million a year for Kyle Tucker in a deal that is certainly not a harbinger of an upcoming lockout.
I mean, I don't know what the hell the Jays would have fit him in, but it still would have been nice.
Get Bo Bichette back. They got to get Bo Bichette back. You'd think they got to get Bo Bichette back at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
I don't know.
The folks at Blue Jays Nation have a lot of breakdowns of why it might be a good thing that the Jays didn't get Kyle Tucker. It would have decimated their 2026 draft capital. I don't know where the hell he would play. Those kind of things.
They got to get Bichette back.
But I don't know. I don't know enough about the Japanese guy to know where he fits in.
If they don't get Bichette back, I will be upset.
Oh, they can't make you upset.
They can't make me upset.
Mark Shapiro is like, Mike Gould be upset.
Yeah, he buys tickets to our games like once every 2 years. He's the number one guy. Yeah. Also on the Toronto front, the Leafs are up 5-4 on the Vegas Golden Knights right now in Mitch Marner's first game against his old team.
Old Mitchy Marner.
Jason Brown saying no disrespect to you, Mike.
I didn't know that Mitch Marner played for the Leafs. This is the first I heard of it.
He did?
Yeah, apparently.
Tell me this for the first time.
Nicholas Roy also played for the Toronto Maple Leafs at some point.
I believe it is Nicolas
Waugh.
Nick Waugh. I think.
Two assists for Mitch Marner.
Oh, yeah. This was one Eastern Conference game that I was very keen on tonight. The Buffalo Sabres winning 5-3.
I believe it's pronounced Sabres.
5-3 over the Montreal Canadiens.
Ooh.
Sabres had a 06 reunion night tonight. All the players who were on the 06 team that went to the Eastern Conference Final with them, inducting Thomas Vanek and Jason Pominville into their all Hall of Fame, the Sabres Hall of Fame. Funny, though, that the Sabres fired Kevin Adams. Funny that they even hired him to begin with, because he was on that Hurricanes team that knocked them out in the 06 ECF. So maybe that was just poisoning them from the inside. The Sabres still red hot. Buffalo is commonly cited in this market as a team the Flames don't want to be like. But wouldn't you know it? Sabres, 26-16-4. They are red hot, and they are in a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, and it's the best story in the league right now.
I think it's kind of fun.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's kind of fun.
Tage Thompson hat trick for the Buffalo Sabres tonight. It was awesome to watch. Of course, that Toronto-Vegas game has Flames draft pick implications as well. The Flames have Vegas's first-round pick this year, and it is completely unprotected. Vegas and Buffalo are tied in points this season. They both have 56 points, and if Vegas does lose in regulation to Toronto tonight, they will have identical records. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Buffalo Sabres. Get that.
Hockey's weird, man.
That is crazy.
And it seems like I still don't have a handle on who the hell is making, like, in the West, there's like 3 or 4 teams, I'd say argue 4 teams that have seemingly have it locked down. And then it's just a swirling mass of whoever's the least bad.
Yeah.
To make it. Like, even like when I think the Flames in St. Louis and maybe Chicago are far enough back that, okay, might not be happening for you this year. Probably won't be happening for you this year. But from like Anaheim or Nashville up, there's like 5 or 6 teams. They're just going, no, you take it. No, you take it.
The Pacific this year is one of the worst divisions I've ever seen. It's horrible.
No one can score goals.
Like, the Oilers do not deserve to be in a playoff spot with the way that they've been playing. I mean, the Seattle's in a playoff spot. It's not even a wild card spot. They're in a divisional spot. Seattle.
Vegas leads the Pacific Division, and their goal differential is +9.
They have 2 more wins than the Flames.
+1. Everyone else is underwater in goal differential in the Pacific Division. The
It's
third
awful.
place team is -8 in goal differential.
Now, if you want a good read, head on over to dailyfaceoff.com today. Yours truly, a piece, one of the lead articles today on how the Tampa Bay Lightning are on the top of the Eastern Conference thanks to their pro scouting. JJ Moser, Darren Radish, Charles Edward Destus.
If you go to Daily Faceoff and you go to the line combination, if you're a Pooley, highly recommend. Go to line combos, scroll down to Tampa Bay, and then play a game called Who the Hell Are These Defensemen?
Charles Edward Destus.
Their top pairing
is JJ Moser and Darren Radish. Darren Radish is a point a game this year with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Then Destois and Eric Cernak. And I swear to God, we're not making these players up. Declan Carlisle and Maxwell Crozier are their third pair.
I think I went to high school with Max Crozier. I think.
I'm pretty sure I went to high school with Declan Carlisle.
Yeah, you probably did. Yeah, so it's a weird season.
Yeah, like they're currently missing on the blue line alone Victor Hedman, Ryan McDonough, and Emil Lilleberg. We're all Lilleberg, sneaky underrated.
Yotes pick.
But like you're missing 3 of your top 4, including Victor Hedman has been a regular resident on most people's Norris ballots the last few years. McDonough, for what he is, one of the better examples of a physical shutdown defender in the league. Lilleberg, a plug and play guy, can put pretty much anywhere. And then the guys you have left, like you're scraping down like your 4th or 5th pairing typically.
You know,
and you're still getting good minutes.
You know who should get like low key should get some like 4th or 5th place Norris votes this year is JJ Moser. Like
they've had a lot of them.
He's been unbelievable in the minutes he's played with Tampa Bay. Like hasn't put up a ton of points, but he's played 22 minutes a night in Tampa Bay, and he's a plus 37 in 43 games. He's been unbelievable, and Utah should never have traded him. That's that for that segment. Hey, Pike, with the standings being as close as they are, it's really hard to dictate who are the buyers, who are the sellers. Really hard to dictate, discern who are the buyers and the sellers in this market. But you know who I bet could figure it out?
I think I have an idea.
You know who has a laser-focused view, an absolute radar scan on exactly which teams are best oriented to make the trades they need to make, to buy, to sell, to stand pat, to do whatever they need to do, is Derek Newman. He's a good fella. Derek Newman with the Derek Newman Group with CIR Realty. If you're buying, if you're selling, if you're standing pat, if you're sitting tight and assessing, if you're rebiggling, either way, you can let Derek do the work for you. Email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca or call 403-619-6661 or visit dereknewmangroup.com. The thing with Derek Newman, above all else, is that he's accessible. He's got his email. He's got his website. He's got his phone number. It's so easy to find Derek Newman on the interwebs, on your phone, in your contact book, in the Rolodex, if you use one of those. So go to dereknewmangroup.com. He's a people-first guy with unmatched service, trusted experience, and a great community full of connections. So if you're interested in buying or selling your home in the greater Calgary area, call Derek and put his network to work for you. He's a good fellow.
I wonder what he thinks of the trade market this year. We'll just text him during a show, be like, who's buying and selling?
We should forward. We should just forward him our picks for where guys are going to go, and just say, "What do you think, Derek?"
And then he can tell us about the real estate market in each of the cities.
Yeah, it's hard to dictate. Thanks, Chuck JC. It's hard to dictate exactly what our feelings are on certain players and where they'll go. All the talk has been about Rasmus Andersson, and
this is true. Who, as of 5 minutes ago,
is still
on the NHL website, is still listed as a member of the Calgary Flames.
Detroit, Boston, Vegas, Dallas. These are the teams that everybody's talking about. There are other teams that people are talking about. I
believe Pierre LeBrun mentioned Carolina recently. I think it was Pierre LeBrun.
Carolina's been talked about. Ottawa's been talked about. Toronto's been talked about. There have been a lot of teams that have been talked about. I think everybody in Calgary held their breath a little bit when Mackenzie Weegar took that late shot in this game, because the Flames, we seem to believe, are pretty hell-bent on trading Rasmus Andersson. Imagine if they lost Weegar as well. That would not be ideal. Yeah, I mean, how do you think this unfolds? Do the Flames need to bring anybody else up? Are they going to send Zane down even still if they do move Rasmus? How's it all going to unfold, Pike?
Oh, God, that's a lot of questions. So I would suggest right now that you probably want to send, now that the option's available to you, you probably want to send down Zane Parekh to the American League for a little bit. You have it, you can play the hell out of him. Right now, the top 4 defensemen for the Calgary Wranglers are Artem Grushnikov, Danil Miromanov, Nick Cicek, and Jeremy Poirier. So all due respect to those 4 gentlemen, particularly Nick Cicek, who I really like. Honestly, I'd watch the hell out of a pairing of Cicek and Parekh. Cicek's been excellent for them. He's basically a chameleon. You can put him with anyone. So I would send Parekh down for at least, I think you can send him down for up to 2 weeks. I would send him down. My guess is, since they're flying back on Friday night, probably not an option for him. You don't want to throw him in cold. So maybe he gets that Sunday game in. And then so maybe he gets 3 games in and then you bring it back up. So that would bring you up until that last weekend of the month. The last weekend of that homestand. And then you can start easing him back in. So I would think, if the idea is your priority here is Zane Parex's development and the Andersson stuff is noise, because you're not looking at a 10-day period of maximizing Parekh. You're looking at 10 years. And in a 10-year window, you don't want to throw him in cold in the NHL. You don't want to throw him in cold in the AHL. So it's easier to sort of get him going. So I would put him down the American League for 3 games. In the event that during/before Parex's sojourn, you no longer have an Andersson, I think the easiest thing to do is maybe bring up Miromanov.
Yeah.
As sort of he'll be your 7. because then you'd have your defensemen who left over be Kuznetsov, Uyghur, Ball, Brustevich, Hanley, and Pahal. And so Miromanov is your 7. And then you sort of see how things go. That AHL group looks lean for a bit. And then once Parek is back, then you just swap him and Miromanov, and then you reshuffle the pairings and figure out what you want to do. But yeah, we've discussed this. For those of you, we love you sickos in the comments and in the chat every damn game. You are the hardest of the hardcores. We know that there's some apprehension about, oh no, the Flames were too good when the Flames were winning. And I think my observation is, much like with Michael Backlund on the forward group, if you take Rasmus Andersson out of the defensive group and the minutes that he's covering, first over the boards and basically every game situation, that's a big hole. And all of a sudden, your defensive pairings, they've had 3 pretty consistent defensive pairings since basically when Yan Kuznetsov came up. I think his second or third game, I want to say like the 10th to the 12th of November, they put Kuznetsov there. So it's like the better part of 2 months, and it's been pretty stable. That stability will be gone very quickly if Rasmus Andersson is wearing a different sweater. And so things could get kind of topsy-turvy here for a little bit.
Well, I just want to go back to something that you said a moment ago, because Jack, I don't know if you got the message that I sent you, but are you meaning to say that if Zane Parekh gets sent back down to the American League and the Flames the Flames trade Rasmus Andersson, do you mean that it could be Miro time? Jack?
I mean,
yes! Yes! Our superhero! Our super Miro! Are you saying it could be time?
I mean, when Parekh got injured earlier, they brought up Miro.
His
for
eyes.
a couple games.
He's got eyes that look like a
Initially.
cat. He's got
He's been good for them. He's been good with the Wranglers. He's put up good numbers. He's been really steady for them. I've enjoyed him.
I would get the biggest kick out of Neil and Miromanov returning to the Flames for any length of time. I think it would be hilarious. I'm all for it. Yeah. Here's hoping.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, sure. There you go. That's a look at the buying and selling market around Rasmus Andersson and the Calgary Flames. Pike, the nice thing is, the Flames have a day off tomorrow. Obviously, they'll be traveling.
The term is travel day. But
travel day.
A day where they will not be on the ice.
Which means that we probably have a bit of a day off. A little bit. I mean, maybe something will happen.
I don't know.
Maybe something will happen. Maybe something will happen with Rasmus.
Things happen every day. For someone who says nothing ever happens,
nothing ever
a
does.
lot of stuff happens every day.
Nothing ever happens. Oh, God, if something happened, I'd just be so happy.
Where's my schedule?
You know what is happening, though? You know what's happening more than anything else? And something that would be a really good idea for a Friday. Lots going on in sports, all sorts of stuff. I think I'd maybe head on over to the Unicorn on my, on our, just to commemorate the travel day. Flames, they're inactive. And you know what? If you're at the Unicorn and the Flames do make a deal, what better place to commiserate if it's a bad deal or to celebrate if it's a good deal than the Unicorn, where everybody knows your name? That's a different one. Actually, it's the Unicorn Calgary Super Pub. There you go. Sports Cantina with all things sports, hockey, football, soccer, UFC. They got games like Golden Tee, Buck Hunter. They got pinball. Pike, you a big pinball guy?
Oh God, there's the old Centennial Arena's had this. Has the fantastic Simpsons pinball game.
Oh, the Simpsons pinball game.
Oh, that game ruled. I had the high score for like 2 years. Then some kid from Glen Lake beat my high score, and I swore off that rink forever.
You know which pinball game is my go-to that I could probably school everybody in the chat on?
Oh, the old Transformers.
Metallica.
One. Okay, yeah, that's a good one too. If you hum too much Metallica, we're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah, I'm killer at the Metallica pinball game. I don't know if they have it at the Unicorn. I need to double check. I haven't checked the pinball area a whole lot. I usually just sort of stick with the game day $7 pints.
You go check it out.
Mostly Canadian, located in the heart of Stephen Avenue. And I don't know if they have the pinball at Unicorn on 4, which is really the more convenient spot for me. But yeah, it's a spot, especially for those lazy Fridays where you're just, kicking off the weekend in a good way. And Lord knows there will be all sorts of stuff to watch at the Unicorn coming up. Be a great World Cup spot. So there you go. 228 8th Ave or 1919 4th Street. There we go. That's the unicorn. There's all sorts of chaos in the chat. I don't know what's going on. Jack is getting into it with Alphonse. Alphonse saying, I've been a producer longer than you've been alive, Jack. Jack's not a young guy. Jack's like 27, 28. What are you producing in the late 90s? Are you producing like games or something? Like, what's going on here?
Producing bad vibes.
Nintendo 64 streams on AOL.
Oh, nice. The update.
Jack, Jack, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm curious. That's why I asked. I said, what did you produce? I'm waiting for him to get back to me.
Jack, you a big game guy? You like the Wii?
No, I was never a Wii guy. I never had the Wii.
I'm hosting a Wii party at my house tomorrow. You want to come?
Wii party? What are you playing?
We're playing like Mario Kart Wii and Wii Party, like the actual Wii Party game. Yeah, I don't know.
That's good times.
Wii
Sports.
I might have to bring the Wii over to the studio at some point.
Do it.
That'd be. We'll do the draft lottery show, and then afterwards we'll just play Mario Kart.
Wii.
Ooh,
that's a great idea.
TSN just updated their college hockey schedule.
Did they?
And Harvard plays Cornell on January 24th. So I was gonna say, if you're like, oh, there's nothing going on.
Do the Flames have any Harvard guys anymore? They have Aiden Lane.
Yeah, they have Aiden Lane.
Aiden Lane. There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Tomorrow there's Chechelev's team's playing.
Oh, are you still keeping up with Daniil Chechelev? Are you still keeping up with Daniil Chechelev?
Tigers are playing. Wranglers play.
They drafted Daniil Chechelev 6 years ago.
NCAA fifth leading scorer Ethan Wittenbach is playing. There's a hell of a NCAA game, a series between Denver and North Dakota. Oh, that'll be really good. Jameson versus Cole Reggie.
I can't believe you name dropped Daniil Chechelev in 2026.
Yeah, he finally caught on with the team.
You got to be kidding me.
One of these days, we'll just fill an hour with.
How about we talk about Kirill Zarubin? There's a guy.
Yeah, he won his 18th game today.
Kirill Zarubin,
18-8, 2.1 goals against average, 929.
People don't give Kirill Zarubin enough credit as a prospect in the Noah Hannafin trade, who is a legit prospect.
Yeah.
Legit prospect. We are on to Kirill Zarubin and Daniil Chechelev time, which means that it is time to wrap up this show. Again, our sincerest thanks to the Unicorn, to the good folks at Platinum Mitsubishi, at the Derek Newman Group, at the Youth Centers of Calgary. Hey, wait a minute. We haven't done it. Super chats. Here we go. Super chats. Benefits Youth Centers of Calgary.
I don't know how to describe the sound you just made.
Benefit the Youth Centers of Calgary. Here we go. Fubar 1982 AWOL starting off. Afterburner with Mike and Ike. The P is silent. The P is silent. That I don't like the way that sounds. There we go. We're just going to move on from that. Fubar with another super chat. $5 this time. Moving to Caribbean and opening a sports bar with Flames vibe. Now trade Anderson and Coleman for Bichelle, Bork first and second 26. See you in Belize. I actually don't think that's a very good trade. I'd maybe trade one of those guys for that package. I don't like that trade. But this just reminds me of Eugene Melnick having his favorite bar in Barbados and then opening the new arena, the Palladium, and bringing an exact replica of that bar and putting it in the arena on the concourse.
Okay, I just find when you go around the Ottawa arena, which is not in Ottawa, but
not Ottawa.
Everything so it originally called the Palladium. Actually, it was originally they had a different name for it, and then when before the building opened, they decided to call it the Palladium. And so all the streets have like Roman, like the Palladium way, and like they sort of have semi-Roman themed names because the idea is like the senators from Rome. The Palladium is a play on the Roman Colosseum. It's on brand. It's like everyone's like, okay, it's like if you have all the streets in Stampede Park named after like cowboys. Okay, that's on brand. Good. Then you change it to a corporate name, and so you go to the Corel Center or Canadian Tire Center now.
God, Corel,
and it's on Palladium Way, and thematically it makes no sense, and it's so confusing.
You ever use Corel WordPerfect?
No,
really,
it's not good. I'm a Microsoft Word boy.
How do you know that it's not good if you've never used it?
I used it once.
Oh, you used it.
And
there you
threw it into a lake.
You threw the program into the lake. You got throw the whole computer, just the program.
Just the program.
Stupidasso in the chat saying, let's see here. What is wrong with this guy? Serious question. The one on the left sounds like the type to love his own voice. I sure do. And then I hate this show. I hate it. I hate the show. That's so good. But I can't stop watching.
And this is after a win.
It's so good. I do love the sound of my own voice. Thanks for pointing that out. That's outstanding.
I don't know if we're fortunate or unfortunate that you and Pinder don't do more shows together.
That is so funny.
Just put you two in a room, throw a microphone in there with like a knife and see who survives.
I think that's Pinder. That's got to be Pinder, just hiding behind some.
Oh no, Pinder would sign it. He wouldn't try to hide that.
That's really funny. That is hilarious.
Pinder owns his faults.
Then a couple of super chats from William Holden. Isn't that like the name of
Wild Bill Holden,
a vice president or something? William Holden, 7356. Hoobie, the Bobby Ryan of the Flames. I kind of see it. By the same token, though, Bobby Ryan was like the better comparison is like, because Bobby Ryan was viewed as like the main piece of that trade, whereas the Huberdeau trade, Tkachuk was the main piece of that trade, right? I kind of get it though, although Huberdeau also is not quite there with Ryan because Ryan had a couple of good playoff runs with Ottawa, and Huberdeau has never played in the playoffs with the Flames and probably never will. So that's all I got to that. But hey, I mean, it's not the worst comparison I've ever heard. It's, it's kind of on point actually, as far as like the actual player is concerned. But Bobby Ryan did have a couple of decent playoff runs with the Ottawa Senators. And here's another one. Hoobie ain't getting bought out. Got to live with it. I mean, you have to live with the Huberdeau money regardless. It doesn't matter if you buy him out, if you trade him, you're always going to be retaining on him if you trade him. I mean, I just think at a certain point, you are going to be looking at a similar cap allocation regardless. When you get down to the final 3 or 4 years of this, honestly, a buyout makes sense. Like to a certain degree. It saves a little bit of money, but there isn't a huge cap commitment after the actual term of the deal. It goes down to a minimal cap hit.
Yeah, I think it's got like 2 or 3 years until the money even starts making sense. So like,
yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It can't. Well, first of all, it can't happen until the offseason, but it's not going to happen this year. But I think in a couple of years, you're maybe looking at it and being like, this is sort of what Minnesota did with Parise and Suter. And it kind of makes sense just to sort of turn the page a little bit. I don't think they're ready to get there just yet, but if it does come to that point, I can see it making sense more so than trading him with retention, because I don't think that's ever really going to make sense.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
I don't know. I understand why they made the bet they did, and I don't think anyone could have anticipated that guy would go from 115 points and 85 assists
to being on pace for 38.
Yeah, I mean. So yeah, so like the aging curve hits everybody different ways. I don't even know if this is aging curve. I think it's just
bad fit, bad everything.
Yeah, he was real, and he was real good last year.
Yeah,
like he was good in the PK and good everywhere else, and different things happen, man.
And we will finish this off with one more regular chat from our buddy Al. Mike Gould would never survive in Edmonton. I don't know what that means. You got to E-Town. Got to check in with me first. That's pretty good. I was actually considering going to the mall, spending a couple of nights in the Fantasyland suites.
My dear brother, has never been to Edmonton, so we're going up.
Wow.
We're going up to for Foo Fighters in September, and the debate was how long do you need to go to really experience Edmonton? I think we're doing 2 days and
4 hours.
One of those going to be spent at the mall.
Yeah.
Of if we're going to Edmonton, we got to show you the mall.
Of course. You got to stay in the Roman suites.
You got to see Commonwealth. You got to see the mall.
Yeah.
And I think that's the list.
There you go. That pretty much sums it up, isn't it? Hey, the Calgary Flames beat the Chicago Blackhawks 3-1 tonight. Once again, thank you to Bet365, to the Youth Centers of Calgary, Derek Newman Group, Platinum Mitsubishi, and the Unicorn. Thank you to our producer, Jack, reporting live from some unidentified location we're not allowed to disclose on air. Thank you to our buddy Ryan Pike, who's right beside me in our Bet365 studio. My name is Mike Gould, and the Calgary Flames will be back in action on Saturday to take on the New York Islanders. We'll have warmings and Afterburner for you that day as well. Until then, thank you for tuning into this edition